Hey guys, Alex here, and the official release of iOS 26 has been out for a couple of days now, and a lot of people have made some great videos about iOS 26, but there's a lot of hidden features of iOS 26 that a lot of people just aren't talking about. So in today's video, I want to take you through and show you some awesome new secret features of iOS 26 that you might not know. So let's not waste any time and get right into the video. And the first one has to do with how your phone treats new wired devices that get plugged into your phone for the first time. And to manage this, you can go into your phone settings, go to privacy and security, and down at the bottom, you'll see something called wired accessories, and it will ask you how you want to allow these accessories to connect. Now, by default, it's set to automatically allow when unlocked, but I actually like to change this to ask for new accessories. And this way, anytime a new accessory gets plugged into my phone, it's going to ask me to allow it to connect. It's not just going to automatically allow it to connect. And this could be a great security feature. You never know where you are. Somebody might plug a USB-C or some kind of device into your iPhone and try to steal your information. So definitely a great feature right here. This next iOS 26 feature is really cool because if you're ever listening to music on your headphones and then you get into your car, or maybe you walk next to a Bluetooth device that you have also connected to your phone, instead of the music starting to play from that device, it will continue to play from your headphones. And to set this up, you want to go into your phone settings, go to General, tap Airplane Continuity, and enable this feature that says keep audio with headphones. And what it says here is when using AirPods or other wireless headphones, keep audio with headphones when other devices like speakers or cars connect to the iPhone. So just like I said, if you don't want your music to start playing from another device, as long as you have this feature enabled, the music will continue to play from your headphones even when another Bluetooth device gets connected to your phone. Another new feature of iOS 26 is the ability to move your widget bar. So before it would be static in one spot, but now if we customize our home screen, or rather our lock screen, you can see that we can drag this widget bar down to the bottom. And this is definitely a nice change because if you're using your phone one-handed, it is now much easier to reach and interact with these widgets on your lock screen instead of having to reach all the way to the top of your phone. So if we hit done, you can see now when we go to our lock screen, all the widgets are down here and it's much easier to interact with them. With iOS 26, we also got a change to the screen recording feature. So before on iOS 18, it would record in a lower 1884 by 1920 resolution. But now if we stop this recording and go to our gallery to check out that screen recording, you can see that it is now a higher 1320 by 2868 full resolution to match that of the iPhone display. So it's just no longer scaled down and you're now going to get a better video quality in your screen recordings. There's also been a change to the screenshot. We can now add a magnifier. So when we take a screenshot and we go to the markup section and then hit the plus icon right here, you can see at the bottom we have this new add loop feature, which will add this kind of magnifying glass effect to our screenshot so we can kind of make it bigger or smaller and drag it on any specific part of our screenshot. And this just makes it easier to bring attention to something specific within the screenshot if you're going to share it with somebody and you want to bring their attention to that one part of the screenshot. You also might have noticed that when I took that screenshot, it now takes over the whole entire screen, whereas in iOS 18, it would take that screenshot and kind of bring it down to the corner of your screen, and only if you wanted to do some markup or interact with that screenshot, then you can tap on it and it would enlarge it. But now it just takes over the whole entire screen. And if you don't like that and you want to go back to the legacy way of doing it, you can actually go back to that by going into settings, go to general, tap screen capture, and just disable full screen previews. And now if I take a screenshot, you can see it's going to go back to the old school way where it just minimizes it to down here. And if you want to interact with it, you can of course tap on it and it will enlarge it again. Another really useful feature with iOS 26 is the ability to create callback reminders. So if you ever have a missed call from somebody, but you can't get to that call right now, or you just don't have time to call them, you can set a reminder for yourself to be reminded to call them back later. And all you need to do is go into your call logs, swipe on the phone call that you missed, hit on this blue icon right here, and you can set a reminder for yourself in 1 hour, tonight, tomorrow, or even a specific time. So you can tap on there, set a date and time to get that reminder to give that person a call back. Now, if you use multiple eSIMs with your phone and you have more than one phone number, a cool new feature of iOS 26 is now anytime you long press on a phone number, whether it's in a text message, a screenshot, a website, or anywhere, is it will give you an option of which eSIM or phone number you want to use to call that number. Now, I don't have multiple eSIMs in here, so that's why I'm not getting that option. But if you do have dual eSIMs, this is definitely a really great feature just to make it a lot easier to decide which phone number you want to use to make that call. Another nice little quality of life improvement they've made with iOS 27 is the ability to not have to reach all the way to the end of your screen to swipe back. So you can see now if you're using your phone one-handed, you can just swipe from the middle to go back, and that makes things a lot easier. Now, unfortunately, this isn't available everywhere. There's still some places where you can't do that, but it would be nice if eventually they made this universal everywhere. And another improvement I'd love to see is just universal back swipe. It'd be nice if you could just swipe from either side to go back. I don't like that you have to do it only from the left. If I could swipe from the right as well. But for now, this is still a nice improvement. All right, this next secret iOS 26 feature is a really cool one. I'm surprised not a lot of people are talking about this, but if you go to settings, then scroll down to sound and haptics and go to input, you can change where you want your microphone sound to come from. So if you're wearing AirPods, for example, and let's say your AirPods are really old or you drop them in water and the microphone isn't working anymore, or it's just really bad quality, you can choose to use your iPhone's microphone instead. So that way you're still able to use your AirPods to listen to the conversation or the music or whatever you're doing, but instead use the iPhone's microphone so that if you're talking back to the person, they won't have to hear your bad quality, muddy, broken AirPod microphone. Instead, they can hear the nice quality from the iPhone mic. Now, one really annoying thing that happens to me occasionally is when I am taking a picture of something, my lens might be dirty. Maybe I have a fingerprint on there or some kind of smudge, and I just maybe don't notice it. And then next time when I go to look at that picture I took, I realize that it's completely ruined or smudgy or blurry. Well, there's a cool new setting on here that will make it so that you never have that problem again. So if you go into your phone settings, go to camera and swipe down to the bottom, you'll see an option here for lens cleaning hint. And now anytime the lens on your phone is maybe smudgy or dirty, your phone will give you a notification telling you to clean your lens before you take that picture. So now you're never gonna have to deal with ruined pictures again. Now, if you listen to a lot of podcasts, you're definitely going to like this new iOS 26 feature, because before, if you ever wanted to increase the playback speed, you would have to tap on the playback speed and then select from any of these predetermined speeds. But now what you can do is just put your finger on it, touch and hold, and you can swipe up to increase the speed or swipe back down. And you can see we actually have more increments available. So we have 1.1 times, 1.2 times, and it just keeps incrementing by 0.1. So it's a lot more gradual. Whereas before you would have to tap on it and you would only get a few specific options. But now you can choose the playback speed of your liking and listen to it at your desired pace. So definitely a really nice quality of life improvement. Another nice feature of iOS 26 is the ability to copy specific parts of a message. So before with iOS 18, anytime you would long press on a message, you wanted to copy it, you would be forced to copy the whole entire message. But now you can hit select and only copy exactly what parts of the message you care about. So you can just move this around and only copy what you like. So definitely a nice change here as well. Now you might already know that iPhone has a voice isolation feature for when you're on phone calls to make it easier for the person that you're talking to hear you by suppressing any background noise around you. Well, with iOS 26, they expanded that feature to voice recording. So anytime you're taking a voice recording, if you are in a area where maybe there was a lot of background noise, you can isolate your voice to make it easier to hear you as well. And all you need to do is pick the voice recording that you made, hit on this icon right here, then tap over here, and you'll see an option for studio voice. And if you enable it, you now have a slider of how much you want to isolate your voice and how much you want to suppress those background noises. So again, if you take a lot of voice notes when you're out and about in the world, this can definitely be a nice feature. We also got a nice improvement with the always on display. So if I go to my lock screen, you can see I have this wallpaper here. And when I go into my always on display, my phone falls asleep, you can see that that picture will dim and also blur at the same time. And that just makes it easier to see anything that you have on your always on display. So if you have your widgets, any notifications, anything on here, that wallpaper will dim and blur, and that just makes it easier to see everything on your always on display. Another nice change is with iOS 26, you can now use natural language to search within your message history. So if you need to search for something, maybe you were talking about something, but you don't remember exactly what you said or how it was phrased, that conversation will still show up in the search because iOS 26 understands that it's relevant or similar enough to what you were looking for, which is definitely really nice. You don't need to type something verbatim in order to search for it or filter through all of your messages. You can just kind of type the idea of what you were talking about and it will match it to any of the conversations that you had. Now, another iOS 26 feature that a lot of people haven't talked about that I think is definitely a really cool one is the ability to change your snooze duration. So anytime your alarm clock wakes up and you hit snooze, you can change how long it will take until that alarm bugs you again. And all you need to do is just tap into any one of your alarms, and right there you'll see snooze duration, and you can change it by the minute. So if you want to maybe sleep 7 minutes exactly, or you're very particular, maybe you want 3 or 4 minutes, it doesn't matter, you can change it by any amount up to 15 minutes. So this is definitely a really nice change. Again, if you like to snooze your alarm but you don't want to oversleep, or you want it to kind of bug you at a specific time, you can set that up to your liking. We also got a change to the password manager, because now anytime you go into any one of your passwords, you can see the entire history of all the passwords that you've used and when you last changed them. So you can see I have a test password here. And when I first set this up, I had this password, and then I went ahead and changed it, and you can see this was the new password, and then I changed it again, and that's the new password. So if you ever want to see any of your history of what passwords you've used before, just so you don't accidentally reuse an old password and risk getting hacked, this is a great little feature that we have here in the password manager now. But there you go, guys. That's going to do it for this video of some of the lesser mentioned iOS 26 features. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for future videos to come, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.